days like these last with one another, with the feeling pass.
Hi everyone, I'm Jay and welcome to my first weekly reading vlog. This is Monday night. I am home from work, freshly showered, skincare done, and now I'm settling in front of my laptop to probably catch up on a little YouTube. Pixie is fed, as you saw. I went to the cutest little shop today and bought local instead of on Amazon, and surprise, surprise, it was actually cheaper. He's over here bathing himself. Aren't you? Where's the baby, Scott? Where's the baby? You want to say hi to the people? Yeah. Oh. He makes it so difficult. Reading updates. I think where we left off was I was reading The X by Frida McFadden and Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. I've since finished both those books. They will be in an upcoming wrap-up. I started and finished Frida McFadden's newest book, The Crash, and I have to say I was very disappointed in it, unfortunately. And now I only have 2 books left to read on her backlist, and they're some of her first books. I think one might even be a romance. I'm not sure. It's a thriller. I'll have to look into that a little further. And yeah, as far as tonight, like I said, I'm sitting down in front of the laptop, probably going to catch up on a little bit of YouTube, eat dinner. If I think to show you what that ends up being, I will. Weekly vlogging is something I am trying out for the first time. Don't know if it's going to stick, but we'll see. And then maybe pick up a book tonight. That would be great. I do feel like I am a little bit out of my reading slump, and by slump I mean I have only been reading Frida McFadden books for months, essentially. So yeah, I'm gonna hop off here and I'll catch you guys later.
Would you find out with me if it all starts to crumble? Or search the pieces for a hope or a mumble? It's not for me to
Good morning. It is about 5:45 a.m. and it is Tuesday. The next morning, I stayed up till about 10 o'clock reading. I started an older book of Frida McFadden's called Brain Damage and love it. I'm about 30% through and I have a feeling I'll finish it in the next couple evenings. I have been trying to get my hands on a physical book in the mornings for, 10 pages, nothing too crazy, and listening to audiobooks on my way to work if I end up walking on breaks. And then in the evenings, as you have seen probably, I tend to gravitate towards an ebook. It's just easier when I'm laying in bed, and it's really nice to have no backlight so I can get the room nice and dark and start to get tired. It takes me a couple hours usually to wind down. So physical book, the last physical book I just finished was Intermezzo. So I think the next one I pick up is going to be Delphi. I might start that this morning. I'm maybe running a tiny bit behind to do that. We'll see. And the audiobook I'm listening to is The House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie. That one I think I'm almost done with. And the next audiobook I have queued up is The Favorites by Lane Fargo. It is Valentine's week, so I did say in my February TBR video that I did plan to read at least a romance leading up to Valentine's Day, so I'm gonna try to stick with that. And yeah, continue with brain damage in the evening. Thoughts. So that one, I went into not knowing anything about it except that it was a psychological thriller. And the main character, she's a physician. And we have two timelines, one where she is, Jay, drink your coffee before you try to talk. Okay. One more sip. So in brain damage, we are in two timelines following Charlotte, who is a doctor. She's a dermatologist. In the past timeline, she is living her best life. She's a single gal living in New York City. And then in a future timeline, she is in recovery after being shot in the head. Not giving away any spoilers, this is something that the premise of the book is based on, and also you find out about this on page 1. I am going to hang out, maybe watch some YouTube, maybe read, I'm not sure. Finish my coffee, and then I'm gonna head to work, and I will see you all later in the day. Plan for today is simply to go to work. I might on my lunch break visit a couple stores looking for little Valentine's Day gifts for some of my family. I work in a pretty urban area, so I have some options to walk to, which is really nice. Although it's supposed to be in the low 30s as a high today, so ooh, I will have to bundle up to do that. It does help though with staving off the seasonal depression if I'm able to get out and walk. I don't know if you've noticed in my videos, I've been trying to include more of that, but that's because I'm doing more of it. And other than that, I think I'll probably just come home, read, maybe pick this up later and update you if I finish my audiobook. And I don't know why I keep looking over there instead of looking at you. What is wrong with me? Okay, I'm gonna go relax a bit before work and then get ready and then go, and I'll see you all later. Bye. Update on Delphi. I have made it to page 56 in this one, and I will probably put it down just for a day or two, simply because Lane Fargo's The Favorites became available through my Libby app, which is earlier than expected, so I don't have to listen to that one on audiobook if I don't want to. I probably will go back and forth between the audiobook and the ebook, but I do want to pick that one up since I did commit to reading a romance prior to Valentine's Day. I probably will end up reading it past Valentine's Day. We'll see, and I will let you know my thoughts as I get started on that. And just, yeah, I want to say that this one is a pleasant surprise. Not that I didn't think I would enjoy it. Obviously, I wouldn't have picked it up if I didn't think that I was going to enjoy this one. It reminds me, I don't know if any of you have read Patricia Lockwood's No One Is Talking About This. It is different, but kind of like the same style, and is giving me the feeling that I wish that book would have given me. This is set in lockdown 2020, and I feel like enough time has passed that it isn't triggering to read this. I do relate a lot to the main character. It is a fictitious story, but feels very relatable, very much like it could be a memoir. Using Greek mythology as a tool to propel the story forward. I agree with this description at the end of the synopsis. Brainy and ominous, funny and sharp, Delphi is both snapshot and time capsule. Yes, and I have tabbed a few things, and I'll just maybe read a couple. Why am I dissatisfied? Wanting to throw away this happiness when I should be trying to carry it carefully to the grave with me. Why do I want to have an affair, leave, quit my job, anything? Because otherwise nothing will ever happen again. Yeah, this one actually made me chuckle. This is talking about Nostradamus in a chapter that is prophecy by lines chosen at random. Still, he, Nostradamus, churned out so many vague prophetic quatrains, at least 6,338 prophecies in total, that some blank was going to stick to the wall eventually. Okay, so I don't know that I'm going to pick the camera back up again today. I will make a little progress into the favorites, maybe even read a little bit more of this. It is a quick little chapter here and there. I might get through a little bit more, and I do plan to vlog quite a bit more tomorrow because it is Valentine's Day and I am taking the day off to have an extra long weekend since I also have Monday off for President's Day. So I will probably see you all quite a bit tomorrow. I don't really have any plans other than to read. I'm gonna make myself an early dinner. I will probably pick up the camera for that. I'm trying something new, but very simple. So we'll see how that goes. And then I do have plans to go play poker with some family tomorrow night. So nothing romantic going on for me this Valentine's Day, but that's okay. I'm actually really looking forward to poker night and maybe be able to give you all a little update on Garm, which I featured in one of my hikes, both in my favorites of 2024 video, and that was a clip actually from my, what was it, October TBR? That's probably wrong, and I'll correct myself if that is wrong. So I will see you all in a second, but it will actually be Valentine's Day when I see you next.
This is Audible. Penguin Random House Audio presents The Favorites, a novel by Lane Fargo. Read for you by Christine Lakin, Johnny Weir, Eric Yang, Graham Halstead, Suzanne Torin, Julia Emmalynn, Valerie Rose Lohman, Elena Ray, Amy Landon, Louisa Zhu, and author Lane Fargo.
Happy Valentine's Day! I am here with another reading update. It is about mid-afternoon, Friday of course, and I have not made quite as much progress as I would have wanted in The Favorites by Lane Fargo, but I am a little more than a quarter of the way through. I might finish this one today. I might finish it tomorrow. I am enjoying it. This one is a romance that follows ice dancing duo from the time they're children to adulthood. So far, where I am in this, they're around 18 years old, and it is 2002. I see now the comparison to Daisy Jones and the Six. I have this book on Audible, the audiobook on Audible, and the ebook from my library. Personally, romance, I would much prefer to read on the page, so I thought that was going to be the case here. But as I already showed you, this is a full cast. Okay, well, not full, but almost full. And it does read a lot like Daisy Jones and the Six, documentary style, that is interspersed with our firsthand account of the main character, Katerina. Whew, okay, I'm out of breath. I just got a package from Amazon, so I did get myself a little Valentine's Day present, you guys. I took advantage of a buy one, get one half off sale that Amazon was having. So the first one that I picked up is Isola. This one is, I think, based on a true story. I don't know where I got that idea. Or maybe it's based on a real person. I'm fairly certain. Okay, here we go. It's like at the very end of the synopsis. Inspired by the real life of a 16th century heroine, Isola is the timeless story of a woman fighting for survival. It's described as an unforgettable story of love, faith, and defiance. And you know I like to read the beginning of the synopsis. Heir to a fortune, Marguerite is destined for a life of prosperity and gentility. But then she is orphaned, and her guardian, an enigmatic and volatile man, spends her inheritance and insists she accompany him on an expedition to New France. Isolated and afraid, Marguerite befriends her guardian's servant, and the two develop an intense attraction. But when their relationship is discovered, they are brutally punished and abandoned on a small island with no hope for rescue. This one sounds so good. I might even sneak this one in February. The other book that I picked up strictly because of the sale, and it was on the sale, and not all books are, I thought I would take advantage. But am I anywhere near close to needing this book? No, but it does round out my collection. And that is the fifth book in the Stormlight Archive series by Brandon Sanderson. Look at this chunker. Beautiful, beautiful editions. I love these. So yes, happy Valentine's Day to me. I do not need to keep buying physical books, no, but they make me so happy, so I do it. I also did finish Frida McFadden's Brain Damage. I am pretty shocked considering it was from so far back in her backlist. I thought, you know, it probably wasn't going to be at the same level as some of the books I've read that are her more recent books. It was so good. I rated it the highest of any of her books I've ever read. Maybe it was just right place, right time, but I really enjoyed it. It did not really read like a psychological thriller to me, even though it did have some of those components. It reminded me a lot of a couple of Catherine Center's books, like from a long time ago. One, I can't remember the name of it, about a woman who survives a plane crash, and it takes place over her recovery. It reminded me a lot of those types of books. There was a little bit of a mysterious component as to how she was shot. Sometimes when there are two timelines in books, I will heavily favor one over the other, and I'll just almost speed through one of the timelines just to get back to the other timeline that I'm liking. In this one, I started off really liking the former timeline and not really wanting to be in the timeline where she's in recovery. But that quickly evened out, and if anything, I was enjoying this post time of her injury. Maybe saying found family is a step too far, but her relationships with the other patients just ended up being so charming and heartfelt. And one of the biggest faults I would say I find in Frida McFadden's books is that the thriller aspect's great, love the tension, love the mystery, but the characters will often feel kind of flat, and maybe even the things that they do are forced to propel the plot forward. That did not feel like the case in this book at all. Each character, whether they were good or bad, felt very real, complex. The relationships felt very natural. There was humor, there was sadness, there was romance. It just honestly feels like a different author. Not to take anything away from her other books that I've really enjoyed. So let's see where we stand. I have not made any more progress in Delphi. I am hoping to finish The Favorites today. I will pick you all back up when I make an early dinner tonight. Don't know if I'll have the concentration to listen to The Favorites on audiobook while I'm cooking. So maybe we'll chat. Maybe we'll listen to music. This book is so big, it almost doesn't fit in there. Okay, we're gonna make this work. You can do it. It fits.
Katarina Shaw and Garrett Lynn.
Katarina Shaw grew into a lovely figure skater.
So good.
Chapter 29.
I recommend. And you'll notice I couldn't wait. Salad's gonna be second.
In the past.
Okay, so I just paused the audiobook. I'm sure you could tell from my reaction as I was eating that I was not expecting what just happened to happen. For those of you who have read this, I just got to year 2005. Let's chat if you have, but no spoilers. Wow, this just got much more interesting.